Morning, Tamanna. I think markets are going to be volatile. I think the geopolitical, situation has got little, bad, and that is the reason the markets have corrected. My sense is that, I think this could be a temporary kind of sell-off. I don't think Indian markets are going to see a relentless kind of sell-off. There could be a little bit of selling in the first half. In the second half, hopefully, as things stand, obviously one will have to see how global developments happen. And in the near term, after the Nifty touching 25,000, I think a little bit of profit booking was anticipated. So I think, one needs to be very careful in your stock selection. And I think even as of now, as the corporate numbers are coming out, I think there could be good, value buying opportunities. It's only a matter of time, Tamanna, when all these things get normal, and I think market should again focus on earnings. So where for the very short term, I think we have been advising our investors to stay put. I think there's no need to hurry because probably the markets could see lower levels of say 24,500, 24,600, and that could be a good area to actually start nibbling. I think we are positive on sectors like cement, auto components, typically real estate, capital goods, housing finance. So I think these are good bets, but I think it's better to wait for a while. I think before you take your call. No, I think clearly within the auto space, July numbers have not been very great. In fact, if you talk about Tata Motors, the management has given a little cautious guidance. At the same time, July numbers have been not as good as what the street expected. But I think overall results have been in line. So I think probably, in the auto sector for the next couple of months, if volume growth is muted or it shows negative growth, I think we would be a little cautious. But I think within the pecking order, I think Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata Motors, and then Maruti, these would be our pecking order picks. And we still continue to be long-term positive on these companies. We believe that, probably the second half of FY25 should be significantly better. There's been a lot of inventory destocking. I think supply constraints, which earlier were present, have now gone. So obviously, pricing power has got limited with these players. But I think overall, I think, as long as, the macro economy does well, commercial vehicles, passenger car, I think the near term bet would be the two-wheeler segment, Tamanna, because their volumes have been pretty solid. We have seen good numbers from both Hero Motor as well as Bajaj Auto. So I think net we have a neutral call, but yes, I think any decline in this kind of market could be a good opportunity to accumulate. Neeraj, you're right. Markets are expecting that Titan could show a better kind of top line as well as profitability number. And I think clearly in terms of the size, in terms of the reach, in terms of the pricing power, Titan is a much significantly large player in the jewelry space. My sense is I think the commentary given last time was quite encouraging. We'll have to see how the numbers stack up. But definitely, at the current odd level, my sense is I think the numbers could be slightly better than what Kalyan have reported. Markets were expecting a little better number from Kalyan in terms of top line and margins improvement, but I think probably the markets were not very happy with the numbers. But Titan possibly could surprise on the jewelry side, and most importantly, the market has also grown quite significantly. So the market leader like Titan could possibly get a better rub off. We'll have to wait for the numbers, Neeraj, but I think clearly once the numbers are out, the management commentary is out, I think you could probably see a little more uptick from the current. It all depends on the kind of scalability at this app proves for Zomato. Tamanna, I think clearly the markets have given it something kind of re-rating because this space attracts very little competition. There are just two companies in the food delivery app space. And I think that is the biggest, moat which Zomato enjoys. And I think I remember when Blinkit was launched, a lot of people were skeptical whether it could actually be a good positioning for the company. But I think looking at the, consumer trends in the country, I think this has actually been very smartly done by the company. So I think, this also being a new initiative, it would obviously have a little bit of skeptical reactions initially. But I think as business grows and as the objective is realized, I think you could possibly see the results of this app in the next, say, 6 months. So it's difficult to give a call as of now. But yes, I think anything innovative and which can actually generate the volumes and the business for Zomato is definitely a welcome call. I think yesterday, a company called Electrosteel Castings has declared its Q1 numbers. The company is one of the leading DI pipe manufacturers, which have applications in sewerage and water applications. We have seen a 20% growth in top line and a 100% growth in EBITDA. EBITDA is close to about almost 350 crores from 160 crores in Q1. And the profit has jumped from 75 crores to 225 crores. So I think, in terms of order book, they still have an order book of 7,000 crores. And last year, the revenue was 7,500 crores. The bottom line was 740 crores. So extremely value wise, looks pretty cheap. I would suggest that if one can hold on for the next say 6 to 12 months, price target of at least 250, 265 looks very much possible. So water is a very interesting theme, and I think here we are getting a market leader at a very extremely value proposition, which I think investors should actually capitalize in these kind of markets. I think within that theme there is another company called Jai Balaji Corporation, which is also available at a very attractive valuation. In fact, this is an integrated steel play. They make sponge iron, they make pig iron, and obviously they also make DI pipes. Here the numbers have been slightly flattish, Neeraj, but if you look at the operating EBITDA, that is up by almost 20 odd percent. So I think clearly, initial reactions for the stock have been negative, but I think Electrosteel casting has done significantly better. We attended the conference call yesterday where the management was extremely upbeat on the margin enhancement and on the kind of demand order book which it currently has. So I think we probably other companies like the like EMS, which is into the sewerage space. If it corrects, that also could be a good opportunity because sewerage management in India is going to take off in a significant way. So I think EMS also qualifies as a good long-term bet. If you get it at a decent level, probably in this kind of weak market.